Hey, you know, with all the time that you're spending at home, you can be listening to 710 AM on your smart speaker. Right now, we're giving away free 710 AM radio smart speakers for free every day in May. Go to 710sports.com/win to enter.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman. Time for some Football 101, and we're going to take a look at the fourth-round draft choice, Tre Brown. Again, the Seahawks only having 3 selections this year. I get a chance to go out this weekend and check out the rookies during the rookie minicamp, so it'll be interesting to see guys like Tre Brown. Tre Brown, cornerback out of Oklahoma, was picked in the 4th round, number 137. That's the 4th highest cornerback the Seahawks have selected since Pete and John got here. So, great chance to make a difference this year. Now, he's 5'10", 185. I'll say this, and this is from the horse's mouth, that the whole tall corner thing was never really a thing that was exclusive just to the Seahawks and that they were, only going to take those kinds of guys. Yeah, they'd like to have taller corners, no question about it, but it's not like they wouldn't select a guy like Tre Brown just because he's 5'10" instead of 6'2". So let's look at him at Oklahoma. 42 games. 141 tackles, 4 interceptions. The other thing, another guy with a lot of kickoff return ability, 55 kickoff returns for 1,200 yards, a 22-yard average. And there was a game that he played in last year, I think last year, his junior year, where he made a difference with his kickoff returns because of field position. So kind of reminds me a lot of DJ Reed, and if he ends up starting on the other side, it'll be pretty atypical for the Seahawks as far as their corner's height, but doesn't matter if the guy can play. Here's the other thing about him, and we interviewed him on our show. Fantastic kid, just a lot of grit. His mother passed away, and practically his whole team came to Tulsa where the funeral was, and they were like, hey, we understand it if you're not going to play. And he's like, my mom would have wanted me to play. So really fantastic kid. Here's what he is great at, and I don't know if this is a quality or not, but some guys have an ability to make big plays at key moments. They're just, I don't know, they just show up in those occasions. And if you look at the Big 12 championship, I saw somebody saying they should erect a statue of him outside AT&T Stadium where they have the Big 12 championship, because he's made big plays every year and helped them win the Big 12 championship. 2018, we'll take a look at this. He sacked Sam Ellinger for a safety against Texas, and not only gets the 2 points, I think they were ahead by 3 at that point, but then also, they got the ball back, and, they were able to, with like 8 minutes left, they were able to win the game. In 2019, he had a 78-yard pass play tackle. Baylor was on like their own 5-yard line. Guy breaks through, and he had kind of a DK Metcalf type moment where he runs the receiver down, and it didn't look like he was going to catch him, and he does. They end up holding them to just a field goal, and they end up winning in overtime against Baylor. And then last year against Iowa State, he had a game-clinching interception. So he just shows up at the right time. I love talking to him. I think he's got the makeup that it takes to be a professional player, and can't wait to see him this weekend. Let's take a look at a couple of these plays, and also a moment at the Senior Bowl where he got invited there. And if you have a good Senior Bowl, especially this last year because there was no combine, talked about this last week, that's where a lot of the NFL teams, banked on that performance, and he had some great performances at the Senior Bowl. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a look at the sack for a safety, and he just blasts the quarterback. But here's Tre Brown out here on the corner, and you'll see that the quarterback never sees him coming. And he just comes off the edge and just explodes. And when you watch his feet, that's the thing that's so impressive about him, is that his feet are always moving. Here he is right here. I know this feeling right here. It's like, man, I hope they don't see me. I hope he doesn't look over. The run from here to there feels like it takes about a minute, because you're like, wow, look at this thing developing. Quarterback standing right there, and he comes in and just blasts him. And the reason why I like this play so much is because he's so physical. And you can see for a guy that's 5'8", I'll say this, for the short guys, they're under everybody, and leverage is huge in the NFL. But you can see right there, looks like Ellinger's feet are up off the ground. Now, I'll say this, he does give him what we used to call the master blaster. You come in and hit him with your forearm or your shoulder. That doesn't always work in the NFL. You got to wrap guys up, but he knew that the guy didn't see him, so he was able to get it done with that. All right, and this is from the Big 12 championship game against Baylor that I mentioned that was in 2019. And it's just a pass play out here. He's sitting out here and on the corner, and you can see that they're at their own 5-yard line there. And kind of a blurry shot here, but there's Tre right there. And he's got his safety coming over the top. I don't know if this is maybe cover 2. They're trying to throw it in between the corner and the safety, but this guy's wide open. And I like this shot right here because you can see there's Tre, and it could have easily gotten tangled up with his safety, gotten his legs tangled up. And so he's able to kind of fight through this. The reason why is because his feet are so good. They're always going. I always say it's like a sewing machine, you know, or a drum roll, you know, just constantly going. His feet are. So, you know, that's how he gets past all this trash. And that was, as a linebacker, you know, you had to have really good feet at the line of scrimmage because there's guys falling everywhere, and you always have to have your feet going, and that's what he does in order to make that play happen there. And then you see him getting the tackle here. So what happens is they end up holding them to a field goal, and I believe they win in overtime. So, I mean, this guy's gone. He was off to the races. I don't think anybody gave him a chance of catching him. And again, it was kind of like a DK Metcalf type of moment. It ended up winning the game for him. So here he is at the Senior Bowl here. And, you know, the thing about the Senior Bowl is you're competing against a bunch of other guys that are going to be in the NFL draft. So you can see him just a little one-on-one. It's really hard to get interceptions in one-on-one drills like this because there's no pass rush. The quarterback can sit back there, pat the ball, wait for his receiver to get open. So you can see right here, he gets his hand on him, which is good. Just place it there, don't grab, and he doesn't do that. And he's running downfield, but you know what, this guy's going to check up and come back, and so you just got it with his feet. He does a really good job of staying with him. Now he got caught in kind of an awkward position here. The receiver kind of used his hands to kind of turn him around, but he quickly pivots back his hips back, you know, so that they're square towards the line of scrimmage, and that way he's able to drive on it. But you can see in there his hands are still on, again, placing him on the receiver, not necessarily grabbing him. And then here you can see he's already overcome that bad position, and he's starting to drive this way. He knows what, you know, what the pass is going to be. Again, it's really hard to get interceptions in these one-on-one drills. And finally, he breaks through and just is able to step in front of the ball. He's got great hands. I watched this drill. He had 15 or 20 reps. I think he got 2 interceptions, knocked a couple passes away. I didn't see a single ball caught on him. So really a, you know, sort of feisty player, guy that loves football. He's got great quickness, and I'll tell you what, he's going to have a chance to contribute next year. Even though, you know, this was kind of an iffy draft, I think he's going to have a good chance, at least on special teams, if not playing a little bit of defense on this team. Tre Brown, Oklahoma, great kid, great cornerback, and welcome to Seattle, kid.